Hello everybody, I'm Jackie K. Cooper and this is my entertainment rundown. Well, let's talk about the big movie that rolled into town this past weekend. It's It Chapter 2. And I remember several years ago being so excited when the first It was going to arrive in theaters. It was based on the Stephen King novel. I had read that book, I had enjoyed that book. I wasn't really expecting it only to go halfway. It went to a certain point and then it stopped. And then we found out there was going to be an It Chapter 2, which takes the 7 friends who went through all of their experiences with Pennywise the clown, his gruesomeness, his terrible ways, horrific ways, and they made a vow if he ever returned again that they would all return to fight him. They made a blood oath to that effect. And this movie takes place 27 years later, and Pennywise is back in the town of Derry. I couldn't even think of that word, Derry. Only one of the 7 still remains there. That's Mike, and he's played by Isaiah Mustafa. And once he begins to feel that Pennywise is back, he gets in touch with the other 6. And Mike makes a phone call and says, "You promised you'd come back. You promised you'd be here." They have all gone on with their lives, but they do, answer the challenge. Now, the problem is, in retrospect, I remember it as being a movie that was across of the, best type of horror movie with the film Stand By Me. You had these friends who were, in their early teens, who were just close as could be. They called themselves the losers because they were kind of the outcast among the school friends or people at the school. And 27 years later, it doesn't seem to have changed that much. But you don't get much of who these characters are in the present. It's all about going back to fight Pennywise, who is played by Bill Skarsgård. He's not as terrifying as he was. Again, I remember seeing that clown with those fangy teeth, and boy, it was horrific. This time, it's just not that scary. And the acting is good, but again, you don't get any feeling for these adult characters. I was hoping it was going to be 10 times better than this. Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, Bill Hader, those are actors I'm familiar with. I thought they could pull it through, but it just never gets there. And I wanted it to. I wanted to be scared. If I'm going to go see a movie called It Chapter 2, I want to be scared. I want to be hiding and watching that movie through my fingers and trying to hold my ears shut so I won't hear all the terrible yelling and screaming. Didn't have it. And what is worse is this is a movie that cannot find its ending. You go through all of this stuff and you get to a point and you think, well, it's over. No, it's not over. And then it goes a little bit more and you think, okay, they added that on just to tack everything, together. No, it's not over. And then it goes on more, and it's not over. And then it goes on more, and it's not over. It's the never-ending movie. And when I came out, I realized I had spent almost 3 hours watching this movie, and it wasn't worth it. I want my 3 hours back. But everybody was so excited. I've had most of y'all, comments that you've made were, how excited you were about this movie coming out, how much anticipation you had for this movie. And I was hoping it was going to live up to it. It had a huge, opening weekend, but I think it's going to drop. I think word of mouth is going to get out on this film, and people are going to tell each other, save your money, save your time. It's just not worth it. Now, you might have other opinions, and I sure like to hear those. Agree with me, disagree with me, whatever. But for me, It Chapter 2, which is rated R for profanity and violence, only gets a 4 out of 10. It is below average. I wanted it to be more. It was less. This has been Jackie K. Cooper's Entertainment rundown.